Hey, pilot, welcome back to Ready for Pushback. I'm Nick Fialka, and as always, it's Thursday with a solo show. We're here to rock and roll today, and today I'm going to be speaking to the military boys and girls that are getting out of active duty and looking for a job.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
So let's talk about looking for a job as we're getting out of active duty. I think this is a really, really important conversation to have and a thing to think about, because I've had a lot of people reach out, send me messages. They're in a lot of stress. They're having a little bit of a crisis. They don't know what to do because they're leaving this active duty job that they've had so long, and they've done such good things. And, you know, whatever turn of events, the things that are happening in the world right now, I can't find a job in aviation, and I'm scared and I'm freaking out and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to preface all of this with saying I don't have a magic bullet. I don't have like the thing that's going to make it perfect. I don't. But I want you to think about some things, especially if you're a military member considering getting out of the military. All right. So step one is make sure that time is on your side. So if you are considering getting out of the military, then you are going to be a person that needs to focus on getting as much time in your favor as possible. And how do you do that? You have to start being financially responsible. You have to prepare your finances for getting out, and you have to really work hard. It's never too early and it's never too late to start your budget and to live by a budget and start to save money. The best day to start saving money was yesterday. But the second best day to start saving money is today. And so that is the first part of the picture, because if you can build a budget and start saving an emergency fund that will give you a little bit of a pad by the time you get out of the military, 3 to 6 months, that will buy you a lot of time and relieve a lot of stress, and it will help you be successful in supporting your family as you are going down this path, because it can be tricky. The next thing I want you to do is to start looking at all of the different benefits that military people get. Everybody always talks about the GI Bill. You know, you have your VA home loan that you can get, especially if you have already started applying to the VA and you get a VA disability. Then once you get that disability rating, you can save a funding fee on a house if you end up buying one. You can reach out to Marty at Trident Home Loans. All the info's in the show notes, and he can walk you through all of that. But understanding your resources, understanding your benefits, that is going to help you come up with a strategy and a glide slope to help it make the transition easier. The sooner you can get a notebook together of all the different avenues and all the different threats, you can identify the threats, and you can work on ways to successfully circumvent those threats and just get yourself back into the point where you are in a smooth sailing environment. And that is so important for you to focus on. The next part I want you to think about is how can you leverage any programs that are around you. If you need some flight training or something like that, using your GI Bill, the VRNE, all the different forms of money that we talked about with benefits, figure out how you're going to leverage those and how you can buy yourself a little bit of time. And really, really try to consider a SkillBridge opportunity. If you're unfamiliar with that is, basically, it's one of the best deals going on in the military. And they started offering this a few years ago where you are able to take up to, I think, 180 days before you exit the military, and you can start working for another company basically as a free intern. You keep getting your paycheck from the Department of Defense, but you don't go into work. You can grow your hair out. You don't have to wear a uniform, all that stuff. And your commander just has to sign over the documents allowing you to go do this. If you are looking for something like that, definitely check out my guys over at Break Turn. That is the way to get a SkillBridge sorted. The next thing you want to do as you are starting your transition is to make sure that you have figured out all the different things with getting your logbook in order and getting joining Spitfire, and make sure your applications are filled out and that your resumes are tight. Those tight resumes are just crucial for this, because you're going to be using that resume as a way to get in the door. And when you have a resume to get in a door, it needs to be personalized for that company. And if it is, you need to be clear that you are delivering a company specific resume. If you decide not to put a company specific resume forward and you just have a generic resume, that's cool. But if you do have one that is tailored to a specific company, you gotta make sure you're not giving that resume to some other company. I've heard of people doing that. It's never fun. It's always embarrassing. So make sure you optimize your resume. And then once your resume is optimized, go down to your LinkedIn. If you don't already have it, get a nice photo, like a nice professional looking photo, and get your resume basically transcribed into your LinkedIn profile. Translate all the military jargon into civilian terms. Definitely focus on these three things. Number 1, leadership. Number 2, safety. Number 3, CRM, crew resource management. If you're an aviator and you're looking for an aviator job, those are the three things that really resonate well. And so you can do that, and you can leverage LinkedIn to help yourself network. First stop on LinkedIn is swinging by my profile, connecting with me, and then look at the people I'm connected with. Thousands of people. A lot of them are recruiters. A lot of them are directors of hiring. A lot of them have influence in the aviation industry. And from there, I want you to network. And with your networking, I want you to build mentors. Find those mentors, find those places where you can connect and somebody can give you a little bit of guidance, especially if you can find somebody that's involved in professional aviation and something you want to do. If you want to go fly Citation X's, then just find somebody with a type rating and a Citation X and somebody that works in the charter world, and go down that road and see what you can see. Find your way to attend the career fairs. That's got to be part of your budget. The career fairs are so good at helping you figure out where to go. And as you're doing that and you're updating your resume and you're meeting new people, like, keep a record of who you're meeting and where you're meeting them and when you're meeting them, and be persistent and consistent. If you are, that is so fruitful, because those are the people that will help you in the future, and you never know what rock you're going to turn over and it's going to be successful. So that's a good one. Another thing I would say is see if you can go down the path to get more type ratings, more certifications, whatever. If that's within your budget and the time frame allows, then go do it. Get, he or she with the most quals wins. And so do that and get yourself out there. I want you to also identify those career goals that you have. And I want you to constantly reassess that. If you really want to fly wide bodies at a major airline, that's awesome. But if the opportunity is not presenting itself right now, what are secondary and tertiary goals that you can have in your career? Where are opportunities? Because if you can paint with a broad brush, you're going to cover a lot more of the canvas. And that's a great way to help you find employment faster, because really what you want is a foot in the door. I want to tell you a little story about when I got out of active duty for the first time in 2009. It was right after the economic collapse. The real estate market was trash. I interviewed everywhere. I interviewed I interviewed with every company. I couldn't get a job at Walmart. I interviewed with them. I couldn't get a job at Dollar Tree. I interviewed with them. I couldn't get a job at General Dollar. I interviewed with them. I couldn't get a job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I interviewed with them. I interviewed dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of places, literally over 50 places I interviewed with. And I felt like I was lost. I was alone. I was by myself. I was out of active duty, and I was burning through my emergency fund faster than I wanted to. And it was really scary. And I ended up taking a job that paid $35,000 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and it was not great. It was not great, but it just stopped the bleeding. And I could just reset and recage and have a second to take a breath and breathe. And that, started me down my path further. I know you're looking for an aviation job, and I think you should. I think you should try everywhere. But if you can get out there and find a way to keep flying, that is going to be the thing that makes you succeed, is going to be staying in the cockpit somehow. Whether you're doing CFI stuff, whether you figure out a way to do some contract flying, whether you look across the country or across the world and see what opportunities are out there. A lot of you have clearances. There are a lot of secondary and tertiary jobs, even if it's flying helicopters for now. Like if you're a helicopter pilot and you're trying to get into the fixed wing world and there's nothing available, do what you got to do. Get that helicopter job, but keep flying that fixed wing thing. Keep building your time. Keep expanding the opportunities, and you'll find things. It may not be immediate, and you may feel like I did, which is really let down, because when I got out, nobody was hiring. When I got out of active duty, you could get a job with Southwest only, and you had to have at least 3,000 hours of fixed wing heavy time or fighter time, and you had to have a 737 type rating. That was it. That was the only company hiring back in 2009. And that wasn't me, right? That wasn't me. And so I ended up out of the world, and I wish I would have gone and flown to the oil platforms in a helicopter, or gone to go fly pipelines or something. I wish that I would have done it. EMS, that kind of stuff, whatever. I wish I'd have looked around the world harder and been more willing to take a little bit of a risk, but I didn't. And I spent a lot of years outside of aviation. And I think that if you really want to do it, and you know that everybody else before you in the past 3 years has just kind of jumped out and gotten a great job, know that it's okay, and it's cyclical and it comes back around. But I can't tell you how many people I meet that used to be military pilots and that used to want to be an airline pilot, or used to want to fly jets, whatever it is. But one thing or another came up and they went a different direction, and they always missed it, and they always wish they had the chance. So find your niche, reassess your strategy constantly. Look for feedback opportunities, look for mentorship opportunities, and start planning for the worst early. Get that emergency fund set up. Start living on a budget. If you're married, see if you can live off your spouse's income. My spouse doesn't work. That has been one of the biggest obstacles in my life, is that there's no other source of income. So I've got to jump through hoops and work extra hard and do the things because there's no solid income. And that is a life choice that our beautiful family chose. And so many of my other friends have a family with a working spouse, and that's a beautiful thing too. So no judgment, just know which road are you on. Working spouse road, non-working spouse road. Your choices and your decisions, they will flow accordingly, right? So get out there, volunteer, get your budget straight, get your feedback, get your mentorship, and tap into every single resource. Find a way to get involved. Join a flying club. Join a veteran organization with aviation. Reach out to RTAG, an amazing organization. Find a way to do it and plan for the worst and expect the best. And that will help you be successful. I know you can. I know it's going to be great, but it's going to be hard. And you've already spent an entire career in the military doing hard things. This is comparatively easy when nobody's shooting at you. This is comparatively easy when you're not away from your family for a year at a time. This is comparatively easy, but it is also tremendously stressful. So take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, talk to the people in your life that are important to you, get a pep talk when you need it, but don't quit. Don't quit, because you've already done hard things and you can keep doing hard things. All right, pilots, that's a wrap on this episode, and I know what you're thinking. You need to make yourself a little bit better. So how do you make yourself a little bit better? You tighten up your resume. So here's what I want you to do. Go over to my website, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and you can download my free resume template. It is literally my resume that you can download and you can put your own skill sets in. It is tight, it is organized, and it's the perfect pilot resume. It's just something I like to do for the pilot group, and it is free to you. So go over there, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and download your free resume template. While you're over there, look at all the services that we offer. Lots of great interview prep, lots of great application review. Everything you need to be a professional pilot is right there at my website, spitfireelite.com/podcast. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next episode.